everybody, Cindy A. Lewis here, and this is the fourth video in our series for our junk mail envelope junk journal for 2020 reflections. I know we've been waiting. We got all of our papers picked out, so I hope you did. You can see my array of papers. Oh, there you go. You can see all the papers that I've picked out, and I ask you to let me know which ones you thought, when I had questions like for the cover, which would be best. It's kind of split. I mean, different ones liked different papers, and so here's the different ones: the postcards, the envelopes, and the letters. A lot of people like the postcards, so we may end up with the postcards, but I may use a little bit of each one. So we'll just see, and as we go through the months, then we'll figure that all out. So what we need today is we need to have our envelopes that we're going to make into our journal. So you need about 12 or 13 envelopes the same size. If you didn't already pick yours out, go ahead and do that. Today we're going to assemble the envelopes in this video. Now I have several videos on doing that, but I thought since this was a series, I'd go ahead and do that here. So I want to welcome you back. Thank you so much. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd love to have you part of my YouTube family. If you already are subscribed, I'm excited for us to get started on this, and welcome back. All right, the basic premise is this: is you take all of your envelopes and you fold all your flaps back except for one. So I'm going to show you. Just take your flaps that naturally fold down and fold them back, just like that. Take your flap, fold it back. So I want you to do that on all of your envelopes except for one. This next step is what gets everyone a little bit confused, and so what I like to do is turn my envelopes around where my flap is here, and you have to kind of play with it a little bit because your envelopes are a little bit different. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this flap, you're going to turn this one around, and you're going to glue it inside of this one with the flap out. So I'm going to take this flap and I'm going to glue it inside this envelope's opening. If it's a little bit too big, in other words, the envelopes are close to the same size, but not exactly, you can always trim that. You can put a little clip on the side if it needs to go in further. You can see this one's just a tad bit bigger, and you can always trim it down, but let's get it glued together first and see how that's going to work. So I know a lot of you don't have Tombow Mono Aqua Liquid Glue, which is one that I really like, but this tacky glue is easy to get at the Dollar Tree. This is Aleene's. It's a very dependable brand, and this is the size, this 3-ounce size you can get at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to take this glue and I'm going to put it on this envelope flap, and I'm just going to smear it around. This is a really good glue too, and it's a little more pasty, you can see. So now I'm going to take my flap. Okay, I'm going to glue, I've glued a couple together, 4. I'm going to take another one just to show you just real quickly. In other words, take your glue, spread it, take your finger or your paintbrush or whatever you like. Now you're going to take your envelope, turn it upside down. You're going to take your other envelope that you're bringing it to, and you're going to fit it inside. If the flap does not fit just right, then you can snip it. So I'm going to take my scissors, just show you a little bit, and snip right there. And if I need to, I can cut a little off, because all these junk mail envelopes are not always the same. I'm going to rub it down so that I can see if it's fitting okay. That's fitting just fine. I'm going to do the rest of these. All right, now I have my last envelope that I did not fold backwards, and I'm going to put it this way instead of turning it opposite, right? Okay, so I'm gonna take this, still I'm going to glue this flap. Now I'm using 12, I think, envelopes, so we're gonna count them, but we'll see. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna glue it the opposite way. And that's a little tight there. So I just wanna give it that little extra room. All right, and scoot this one in here. I'm gonna glue it down. Now, this one, just wanna make sure that glue doesn't glue my envelope together. All right, so you don't want that. Now I've got my envelope here, and I'm going to take this flap from the front and pull it to the back like this. Now I'm going to glue this one like that. Pretty simple, but it can seem to get confusing, but this will help to stabilize this set of envelopes that don't really have a spine per se, like a book. All right, you want to make sure you glue that well. When you add your papers to it, whatever papers you choose, it'll help to stabilize it as well. If you find that your envelopes are not quite even, you can always trim those to make sure that they're as even as you want them to be, or you can just enjoy them being different because it's a junk journal. So this is going to be the cover here, and this is my back. This is January, February. So we're doing 2 for each month, right? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Now this one I got a little bit of glue on, so I am going to leave that open to dry. But that's how you assemble your junk mail envelopes for your junk journal. The next video, part 5, will be working on January, because what we're going to do is we're going to do the months before we do the cover. Because if the envelopes are too thick, and the cover might move or not be on correctly. So we want to go ahead and work on January. So my January is this one, and that is the one we'll be working on in the next video here. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'm excited to share this fun journey on 2020 reflections with you.